So, hello Year 7, Lesson 6 is all about weathering, erosion and mass movement. So the first thing that we need to work out is what exactly is weathering. Now weathering is the breakdown of rocks on the Earth's surface, and it can take many different forms. So there is something called physical weathering, and this is caused by the effects of changing temperature on rocks, causing the rocks to break apart. So the first type is something called freeze-thaw weathering. Now what this means is within a rock you have tiny little cracks, and what freeze-thaw weathering involves is that those cracks get filled with water, either due to rain or whatever it may be, and then when it gets very cold, the water inside the rock freezes. This forces the crack to widen, and over time, and this happens again and again, eventually the rock splits apart. So that, in real basics, is freeze-thaw weathering. The second is exfoliation or onion skin weathering. So what this means is the rock surface on the rock heats up and expands during the daytime, and at night time it cools and contracts. Now over time more and more cracks begin to appear, and eventually the rock breaks down, becoming smaller and smaller. So that is exfoliation or onion skin weathering. Thirdly, there is chemical weathering, and this is caused by rainwater reacting with the mineral grains in rocks to form new materials. So if the rainwater is slightly acidic, this is when this can occur. So gradually, over time, the chemicals within the water will wear away at the rock. So that is chemical weathering. And then fourthly, you've got biological weathering. So you've got a couple of different ways that this can occur. Firstly, you could get tree roots growing through the rocks, okay, and cracking them apart. You could also have animals boring into the rocks or scraping away parts of the rocks. And then thirdly, there are tiny bacteria, algae or lichens that produce chemicals that break down the rock. So biological weathering is weathering that occurs as a result of biological forces, so whether it be trees, animals or other small creatures. The next bit is all about actually no, we won't touch on erosion, we'll go straight to mass movement. So mass movement describes the movements of rock and soil down slopes due to the pull of gravity. So you could get a rock fall where simply rocks fall down from mountains and crash. You can get mud flow, which occurs when there is lots and lots of heavy rain and the mud becomes very loose and slides down the side of the mountain. Then you can also get land slips. So this is sort of just incredibly rapid and quick forces where the earth simply just falls away. And then you've also got something called soil creep. So this is a very slow process that occurs, and it takes a very long time to get there. So, for today's lesson you've got 3 tasks to complete. They all require tables and diagrams which you will be issued with by myself next week. So thank you very much, Year 7.